Now, y'all know, Hollywood isn't the first one to talk about religion or in God, you know what I mean? But I've had wonderful times out there with people that are believers that may not want to admit it publicly. Prayed with a bunch of them. I've got a lot of agnostic friends who do not believe, but we sit there and say our graces and thank you. So, I mean, I don't know. Someone's asked me that. Well, aren't you kind of afraid to do this since you're in Hollywood to go talk about God? I mean, isn't that kind of a taboo? No, I mean, it never was before for me, and I'm sure as heck it now. So I'm on my own spiritual journey trying to, this book, right? This book's therapy for me. I'm in the middle of it. Going out last night and putting it on its feet and sharing with people and engaging back and forth. I'm finding more connection with myself as well, you know? Because I gotta strengthen my own belief.
Matthew McConaughey is back, and this time he's not just talking about faith in the abstract. He's describing a supernatural experience, something so raw and specific that it's hard to ignore. Something that took him from a season of full-on atheism to a man who will look you dead in the eye and tell you God showed up. Doubters are going to have a field day with this one, but the context he gives first is everything. This is Just God Things, and let's get into it.
I read somewhere, tell me if this is true. At one point in time, because you're big on God now and your faith, you talk a lot about it, but you didn't believe in a God at one point?
I've had my years of not believing. I've had a couple of them that went on for probably 2 years where I was like, nope, self-reliance is it. I'm responsible for me. I'm not relying on any more fate and forgiveness and all that shit. It's about me. I gotta be self-reliant. And I look back, I'm glad I did it. And they were very healthy for me. And when I came back to God, I heard God applauding, going, thank you for having your hands on the wheel. Thank you for having the courage to go, it is on you, because I got too many people relying on faith alone, and it is a combination. And I don't think that, we self-reliance and faith usually are talked about, they butt heads. And my hunch is they don't, is that it's both. It's free will and it's faith. And while, we do something, is it already written divinely? Maybe, but do we have something to do with it, and do we need to have our hands on the wheel with the choices we make? And they are up to us? I believe so.
So did you have faith and you lost it and got it back, or you never had it and then?
No, had it.
Okay.
Strong. But then also, questioning that. You grow up, it becomes sometimes it's a ritual. There's many sermons from my preacher on Sunday that I wouldn't listen to what he said. But the ritual of getting up on Sunday morning, going to church, being reminded and being humbled that you're at most number 2 today, and then prayers before meals, that ritual, you get older, you start to question, well, okay, what did that mean? And I want it to be more than just ingrained in me, like getting married. I didn't want to ask Camilla to get married because it's the thing to do. I wanted to wait until I felt like, okay, no, that's a covenant I want to make with God and Camilla, and we want to go forward, and I want to take that adventure forward. So the same thing with faith. I've questioned it along the way, and I love philosophy, and I love science. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure with the Bible what to do with the burning bush, but there's a whole lot of ethics and ways to live and approach life and signpost in it that whether you're agnostic, whether you believe or not, there's a lot of great things to find in that book, as well as the Quran and many other books. So I've questioned my faith along the way in the existence of God.
What brought you back? Was it like a Mel Gibson's and Signs moment? Like...
Sure, okay. So one time was quite literal.
Okay.
It was the lightning bolt in the middle of a blue sky summer that I'm like, what cloud did that come from?
Wow.
Where it shook my floor, where Mother Nature, God, or whatever reminded me, okay, just letting you know, glad you think it's all on you. I'm reminding you that you're just a little speck right now.
Was it an actual lightning bolt?
Actual, yeah. I was out in the middle of the desert. I had a microclimate cloud come over this little cabin. I was in the desert. This was on Mother's Day. It was 82 degrees at noon, and at 2 p.m. this cloud came over. It rained, it hailed, it snowed on me. In a 100-yard circumference around the cabin I was at, white snow 2 inches deep, and lightning bolts.
What?
You felt the
on
snow
Mother's
in real
Day.
life? Like you were awake and you felt snow? Like this happened?
This is real. No, and I was completely sober.
I'm not saying what would you say?
No, none of that. No. I was having my first cup of coffee, watching this go down. And I then looked up and, as I said, walked to the edge. It was only around the cabin I was at. I went into town. Nobody. I was like, and it snowed where I was. No, it did get snow. What are you talking about? And I'd taken pictures. And like, where's it from? I was like, that's today. Wow. And everyone was like, that's impossible. That couldn't have happened. I was like, it happened on top of me. And that was right at the time I went out. And again, the lightning bolt at the time when I'm saying, I don't believe. Bam. Wow. And I went, oh, excuse me. Maybe I need to open myself up here. I hear you. I hear you, And he was saying, just checking in on you, big boy. You thought you got it going. I appreciate it. Don't get too big for your britches there, pal. Wow. So I've had it that way. I've had it other times where just, look, I mean, you have your first child. Your wife has first child. You want to talk about it. Believe. Look at the birth.
Yeah.
Sit there. I'm going to hear it and wail and cry, or hearing your doggone kids in the other room laughing together.
You see God in your woman. You see God in your wife. Like, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
How did you do? Talk about miracles.
That's right.
How did you do that? How do you have that ability? And then, you know, there's all the people, I don't know if there's a better word for it, there's enough coincidences that happen where you're like, you know what, man, it was a mystery going forward, but now looking back, there's a science that adds up that I did not have anything to do with that choice. That happened, and I got grace enough times where I'm like, okay, I got nothing to do with that, man. That wasn't my choice, and some things lined up in ways that were more than just coincidence to me. And I've had times where I've taken trips, you know, and off on my own, 25 days of my own, and around day 14, had certain revelations where, you know, when that truth hits you at 4 a.m. solitude, it hits you soft as a butterfly, but with a lightning bolt as well, and you've been reminded of some things. You know, remember that truth, even when you go back into the masses in the busy world. Do not let go of that truth. You know, so yeah.
That's what inspired True Slave.
What are like you talked about earlier, reflection and looking in the mirror and I guess doing that while writing this book. What has been like the hardest time that you had to face yourself?
Hardest time I've had to face myself. Well, of course, the first one that comes to mind probably be 15 years ago. I was doing rom-coms, and I was the go-to guy in rom-coms, and I enjoyed them. But in my real life, I'd met Camilla, fall in love with her. She was now pregnant with our first child. And if you got kids, you know, that's a real vital time. Life's
Yeah.
you know, and as a man, I don't think there's any time a man's more masculine than with the birth of a first child, or the heart, head, body, and loins are more aligned then than ever. So my life was very vital. My work felt like, I can get up and go do that tomorrow morning. It's easy. Nothing wrong with that, but I was looking for my work to challenge. Boy, could that be as maybe as exciting and as vital as my life is? And mind you, I did look in the mirror and say, be damn glad, McConaughey, that you feel like your life is more vital than your work, not the other way around. But can we find some work that can be as vital as my life? So I wanted to do dramas. That's where the work I wanted to do. Hollywood says, no, sir, stay in your lane. I said, I'll take a pay cut. They said, no, don't care. Stay in your lane. So I said, all right, I can't do what I want to do. I'm going to stop doing what I've been doing. So went to Texas with Camilla. She's pregnant. We said, stepping out. Called my agent. No more rom-com. I said, okay. And I remember Camilla and I saying, this, you don't know how long you're going to go without work. This could be a dry spell for a while.
Where the money at, man?
I might have just wrote myself a one-way ticket
Camilla,
out of Hollywood.
Right. Where money? What's happening? We got bills to pay.
Right. All right. We got bills to pay. I hear you. And I'm going, I hear you. Plus, I got to accomplish stuff for my own significance. And what am I going to do? I ain't going to go down and, you know, start making chimes for a living. You know, so I'm out of rom-coms. I'm not on the beach anymore shirtless, which kind of looked like I was in a rom-com in real life as well, right? And I got nothing coming in. My agent's like, man, I hadn't heard your name in 5 months, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Damn. Yeah, so now we get into 12 months. We're a year, no work. I'm starting to think, maybe I did write myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood. Maybe I need to look for a new vocation. Maybe I'm going to go back to law school, become a lawyer. Maybe I'll become a teacher. 18 months go by. Check this out. And I think you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. This rom-com action script comes in. $8 million offer. I read it. I said, no, thank you. They come back. $10 million offer. I said, no, thank you. They come back. $12 million offer. I said, no, thank you. They come back $14.5 million offer. I said, let me read that thing again. So I open it up. Same script as $8 million offer, but it was better. Ooh, I could see myself making this work.
Did your wife know you was turning it down?
Yeah, she knew. Yeah, she knew.
Oh, she thought you was bugging.
Now, my brothers thought I was bugging.
Okay.
My brothers were like, what is your major malfunction, little brother? But I had made the decision. And Camilla and I made the decision. It was non-negotiable. I wasn't going back. Anyway, I read it again. It was better, but I ultimately said no thing. And I think that sent a signal after 18 months of being out of Hollywood that, McConaughey ain't bluffing. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's doing, but he's playing offense. He's turned down 14.5. That's not a receding move to do that. He's up to something. So you parlay that declining 14.5 along with 18 months, which turns to 20 months out of Hollywood, out of rom-coms, not in the theater, not in your living room. All of a sudden, well, you know who'd be a novel, kind of interesting, new, good idea for this drama? Killer Joe or Mud or Lincoln Lloyd? Dallas Buyers Club, True Detective, McConaughey.
Wow.
But only because I unbranded, because I was gone. I had to go get anonymous, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what type of prayers were you saying during that time? Because that's
Right.
a lot of money.
You know, I needed to, I trust me, that the old bottle on the shelf started looking better earlier and earlier in the day, too. You know, I lost my work. Man's got to work for significance, and I didn't have it.
You got depressed?
No, I didn't get depressed. I didn't get depressed because, thankfully, I got a newborn. And the only thing I ever want to be, I've ever wanted to be in life is father.
Yeah.
So anytime I focused on our son, Levi, as a newborn and a new life brought in, that really kept my compass grounded. It was long days, you know, without achieving some of my own stuff, but I had that as an anchor.
Man, that's such an incredible story. Because when I think about you going from rom-com to an Oscar-winning dramatic actor, I always wondered what was the pivot, or how did you know it was time to pivot? And just to know it was just an intentional decision to want to be taken serious, that's powerful.
That was it, and I had to step out. And it was 20 months total that I was out. And trust me, like I said, I did think that I think I wrote myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood.
What did that teach you about the power of intention?
Now that's a story worth sitting with. Because what Matthew just described isn't a metaphor or a philosophical shift. It's a lightning bolt out of a clear sky. Snow falling in a 100-yard radius while the rest of the desert stayed dry. The kind of thing that sounds impossible until you realize he took photos, and nobody in town believed him. And here's what makes it remarkable. He didn't run from the story. He told it anyway, knowing exactly how it would land to a lot of people. That kind of boldness has a name. And it points directly to another Hollywood legend who recently went somewhere even further. Denzel Washington, a man who has never been shy about his faith, recently sat down and described seeing the face of God, and then pulled out his phone and showed the photo.
And while I was saying, I want to see your face, I heard, turn to your left. I turned to my left. I picked up on my phone and I went, shh. I didn't turn to my left and look around. I just heard, turn to your left.
What was the picture? Oh my.
It's breathtaking.
Sorry guys, for those that you can't see, it is literally a blue sky and it looks like wings.
Well,
And the face.
it looks like a nose.
There's a
to me,
nose. It was the eyes. Hang on.
And he's
Oh
smiling.
my. That is a.
The image itself is something worth looking at carefully. Shot from the railing of a yacht, mid-prayer, after Denzel had asked God to show him his face, what appeared in the sky was, by his account, unmistakable. Eyes, a nose, something that looks remarkably like a knowing smile. Massive, a mile wide by his estimate, with the edge of the boat visible at the bottom of the frame for scale. Skeptics will call it clouds, and that's a fair conversation to have. But what's harder to dismiss is the timing. He was asking. He heard, turn to your left. He turned, and that's what was there. Denzel himself is careful not to overstate it. Scripture says we see through a mirror dimly, and he holds that tension honestly, not claiming proof, but not backing away from what he experienced either. Both of these men, at the peak of their influence, chose to tell stories that risk their credibility with a lot of people. And maybe that's the most interesting part of all. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because when Hollywood's biggest names start talking like this, it's worth paying attention.